and we did a $1 million grill by Dr. Bill for Katy Perry's video. And when we did that, I called my publicist. I said, this has to be a Guinness World Book record. Sure enough, it was. So we did the $1 million grill by Dr. Bill.
Hi, friends. Welcome back to Shut Up, Tell Me More. Today's guest is not just a famous cosmetic dentist, he is the famous cosmetic dentist. With so many celebrity and well-known clients, Dr. Bill Dorfman is responsible for the smiles of Anne Hathaway, Usher, Katy Perry, Mark Wahlberg, Sir Anthony Hopkins, Jessica Simpson, Eva Longoria, and that's just to name a few. You probably recognize him from ABC's Extreme Makeover. He is also a co-host on CBS The Doctors. He's appeared everywhere, Oprah, Larry King Live, and a million other shows across his incredible career. He is also a New York Times best-selling author of his book, $1 Billion Smile. I could go on and on about his accolades, but let's hear from the man himself. Dr. Bill Dorfman, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. Your resume is unreal. Like, you really have taken being a dentist to unbelievable heights. But I'm really fascinated by your start. I want to hear your hero origin story. How did you grow up? What was it like being a little Bill Dorfman?
I was a weird kid. I guess I realized it as I got older how strange I was. Because for me, obviously when you live in your own world, that's kind of normal to you. But there were a few things that happened. Like I remember my first day of kindergarten. I'm 5 years old. I came home from school and my parents were both excited to hear how my first day went. They called me Billy when I was a little kid, and they're like, Billy, how was school? I said, school was okay, but the kids in my class are so immature. Who says that at 5?
You're like, grow up, 5-year-olds. What are you?
Yeah. It's weird. I was never a little kid. I mean, I remember looking at kids saying, why are you doing that? Like that's so mean. Like, why are you bullying people? Why are you fighting? Like none of it made sense to me. I was like this grown man in a little body, just waiting for everybody else to catch up to me. And it made growing up kind of a weird experience for me. I started working at 5. I had my first job. I got 25 cents an hour pulling weeds. When I got big enough to push a lawnmower, then I did that. From there, I worked at Ralph's. From there, I worked at Swenson's. I mean, I've never not worked my entire life.
Wow. Do you think that's where your drive comes from? Like from having that work ethic, literally almost from birth?
You know, uh, I don't know. I always tell, I run a program, we'll talk about it a little bit
Yep.
later, called LEAP. It's a motivational entrepreneurship program for high school and college kids. And I always tell students, deep down inside, right from wrong. Just pick right. It's so much
Right?
easier.
Like, duh, just do the right thing.
I know, like I actually I wasn't sure, so I actually cornered my parents recently. I said, "Did I ever get in trouble as a kid?" They're like, "Yeah, no." I mean, I was just an easy kid. I always did what I was supposed to do and did it like gladly. So I don't know. I was weird. I never went through this rebellious phase. I never like experimented with drugs or smashed cars or I didn't do anything a normal kid would do. I was
Right?
abnormal.
Lucky parents. So you have 3 girls. Were they the
I
same
do.
way?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, my girls they're good
Oh
girls.
my gosh, you
And
got to tell me the
uh,
secret sauce. I have 2 little boys. So when you tell me that your parents were like, you were never in trouble, my son got on the table in preschool and started screaming profanities and kicking things off. So I got to hear how you made that happen.
yeah, my kid would never even think of doing that.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
But I raise girls, not boys.
Yeah,
So.
that's true. Thank you. Thank you for that caveat. So when did you decide you wanted to be a dentist?
I literally fell into it. I was 3 and a half. I was playing around in my living room. I fell, I hit the coffee table, and I knocked out all of my baby teeth. And we had a very, very kind family dentist, Richard Feinstein. We just lost him last year,
Oh,
and he kind of inspired me. And I mean, again, most normal kids would have been so traumatized by this, but I was completely infatuated with the whole process and everything he was doing. And then because I was the oldest of five siblings, every time any of my brothers or my sister came in to his office, I would ask if I could shadow and watch. And at some point, I thought, you know what? I want to do this. This is a great thing to do for people. So at the age of 3.5, I decided to be a dentist, and it never wavered.
but even the fact that you had the wherewithal to say, I want to watch this happen, I know that that was something you talk about going to the experts, go to the top person and watch them do it. And it sounds like that was a part of you from the very beginning of your life.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, not something a normal kid would do, But now, I mean, I probably have over 100 students a year come and just shadow me. I mean, this is a common thing these days. And it wasn't like anybody ever suggested it to me, or again, it was common practice. I was just curious. So.
That's so nice that you do that. So I want to talk about Leap. I was going to save it till the end, but I want to jump right into it because Leap is it literally I want to sign up. Like I know I'm not in the age bracket anymore, but it just seems like the most incredible program and you have been giving back to the world like since forever. So can you tell me about Leap and its inception?
Okay, well, first, I want to tell you, you can participate. Um,
Yay!
LEAP is a week-long program for young entrepreneurs age 15 to 25. We run two programs concurrently, a high school program and a college program. The high school program prepares you for college. The college program prepares you for life. Actually, both prepare you for life. The program culminates on Friday with something called a mentor workshop. It's kind of like speed dating. We have 100 different mentors, and every like 30 minutes, we rotate. So the day before the mentor workshop, we give the students a whole list of all the people that are coming. And we have doctors and lawyers and firefighters and screenwriters and you name it. And the kids get a chance to kind of review their resumes and decide who they want to see. And you can come as a mentor and they just ask questions, how did you start your career? What were your challenges? How did you overcome them? I mean, we, excuse me, definitely believe that finding mentors is one of the quickest ways to success in life. And what we teach at Leap is really the skill that you need to have to be successful in life, not, you know, to be a dentist. I mean, and by the way, I've had several students go through who have become dentists, but the real goal is to just give you the skills to learn how to apply for a job, write a resume, time management, money management, healthy lifestyle, on and on and on.
Oh my gosh, I feel like that's so incredible. Wait, so you said I'm not in my 20s. So how if adults are interested, can they participate?
Yes, I mean, there's a lot of ways adults can participate. One, they can come as a mentor on Friday. Two, they can come as a speaker. So if you wanted to maybe do, a short presentation on how to launch and organize a podcast, I think kids would love that.
Oh, I would love
In the
that.
past, we've had amazing speakers. I mean, Sir Richard Branson, Paula Abdul, Anthony Hopkins, Mark Wahlberg, Eva Longoria, Usher, Kathy Bates. I mean, it's really an amazing program. And, I ask all of my patients last year, Jason Alexander came. He was amazing. This year, I've asked Amy Anderson to come. Paula Abdul will come again. I mean, it's really, it's a phenomenal program. It will be this year, July 13th to the 19th. We've changed the venue. It will be at Pepperdine. Typically, we do it at UCLA, but they're converting that area that we use into an Olympic village. So this year we'll be at Pepperdine.
Oh my gosh, so many cool things. Well, we will definitely post the website when we post this episode. I love that.
Oh, one last thing.
Yeah.
Another way that you could participate is sponsor a kid. One of the coolest things about LEAP is that 60% of the students who attend come from low income families, and we go out and we raise money and we give them scholarships. So, if you have a corporation or you have employees and you want to sponsor some of your employees' kids or whatnot, that's a really cool way to participate. But the one thing about LEAP is it really changes these kids' lives.
I just love that you made this happen. What drove you to do this and to start a nonprofit like this?
I can't take all the credit. There was a precursor to this program, and I was invited to come as a guest every year. And, I've had a unique career as a dentist. I mean, in addition to being on primetime TV, which never happened in dentistry when I was on ABC's Extreme Makeover, I invented Zoom tooth whitening. And we grew that company from zero to $1.3 billion in sales before selling it. So the original program, most of the students who attended were sons and daughters of dentists, believe it or not. And so they would ask me to come as a mentor and speak every year. And I loved doing it. I loved watching these kids grow and excel and become kind of excited about their future. Unfortunately, the founder of that program was in his mid 80s and he passed away. And I thought, this program is too important to perish. So I revamped the program. I made it a nonprofit, and we're going into our 18th year.
That's
So it's
amazing.
really exciting.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You have done so much in your life. Fun fact about you, I should be calling you Sir William Dorfman because you have been knighted. Can you tell me how that happened?
Yeah, actually, I'm the first dentist ever to be knighted by the Royal Order of Constantine. Um, it's an organization that recognizes people, men and women, for outstanding performance in their career and for philanthropy. And so I was nominated, and it was a pretty cool experience. Went to Finland and got down on my knees and did the whole. So I said, "Don't chop my head off."
Oh my, yes, shoulders only. Oh my gosh, that is so amazing. You also are a world Guinness record holder twice. One of those times, I love this, you created the world's most expensive grill for Katy Perry. It was used in her Dark Horse video. Can we talk about that? It's such a beautiful grill.
Well, thank you. So I always feel like when students come to LEAP, if I can get them to walk away with two concepts, I did my job. I mean, we try to teach them a lot of things, but if I can get them to walk away with these two ideas, I feel I did my job. Number one, don't wait for opportunities in life, make them happen. And number two, when you get an opportunity, don't take it, master it.
Nice.
And that's what I did with Katy Perry. Johnny, her makeup artist, is a patient and friend. He came in and he said, "Hey, Doc, we're doing this Dark Horse video, and we want to have a grill, a jeweled grill for the video. Can you do it?" I said, "Yes, of course." I said, "What's the budget?" He said, 1,500. I'm like, "Come on." He goes, "Yeah, that's it." I said, "I'll do way better." My friend Cheryl Albert owns 14 Carats. It's the largest jewelry store in Beverly Hills, probably in all of California. It's tremendous. And I called Cheryl and I said, "Cheryl, I need some jewels." I told her what it was for. She gave them to me on consignment, and we did a $1 million grill by Dr. Bill for Katy Perry's video. And when we did that, I called my publicist. I said, "This has to be a Guinness World Book record." Sure enough, it was. So we did the $1 million grill by Dr. Bill.
That's amazing. Have you created any other grills since then?
Never. I've never done a grill in my life.
That's awesome. I love it so much. So you think big in every possible way. You have become the go-to person for so many celebrities. Do you remember your first celebrity patient? What was that like? Were you nervous?
I do. I didn't even know who she was. Fortunately, I had an office manager who was a bit older than me and knew her. It was Esther Williams.
Oh my gosh.
And it's funny, I'll never forget our first visit. She looked me in the eye. She said, "Are you old enough to be doing this to me?" I said, "There's back, relax, and I'll take care of you." And I actually did her whole life. She was my patient until she passed a few years ago. And I remember in her late years, she came in with her assistant, Debbie, and Debbie would always dress Esther and make her. I mean, she looked like $1 million every time she came in. She was in her late 80s. And at her last visit with me, I said, boy, Esther, are you lucky you have Debbie? She really is amazing. She goes, oh, Debbie's on the life program. I said, what do you mean? She goes, she's with me for life. She goes, by the way, so are you.
Oh, I love that. You were such a big part of her heart, I'm sure. So when celebrities do come into the office, I'm sure privacy is like one of the utmost
I
things.
mean, the ones I can mention are the ones that like I've been on TV shows with and stuff, so it's out in the public. I mean, Usher, Anthony Hopkins, Jessica Simpson had me on the Newlyweds, Ozzy Osbourne and his whole family. I don't know. Let me see who else is on
I
here.
love it. I love it so
Kathy
much.
Bates, Mark Wahlberg, Paula Abdul, Michael Strahan, Niecy Nash. I mean, we have a lot of celebrities, but you know what? I love treating every single patient like a celebrity. So it's not like you need to be famous to come see me. It's just when you have a practice in Century City, all the see, what happened was when I first opened my practice, I was, 27 years old. I had just come back from Switzerland. I did a 2-year residency, and I was dating a woman who worked at, well, what's now William Morris.
Hmm.
And so all of those young agents who were working in the mailroom became friends with me through her, and we've stayed friends all these years. And now they're the biggest agents in Hollywood, and they run the biggest studios and everything. And so, it's just been a very tight-knit group.
It's so cool. It's a very fun group, I'm sure, to network in. You must hear some amazing stories. So I feel like cosmetic dentistry has become so almost mainstream now. It used to seem like something that was just for like movie stars. But how many of the smiles that we see on our screens or TV shows and movies are cosmetically enhanced, would you say?
100%.
Yes. Yes. It's such a
I
normal.
mean, listen, even at the very least, everybody's going to whiten their teeth. Like, who
Yes.
would do that, But I would say most actors and actresses have porcelain veneers.
Yes.
Most natural teeth aren't that perfect. There are a few that have actually really perfect, beautiful natural teeth, but not many.
It's become such a big thing. And now, like, I want it. I feel like my friends want it. What are we talking cost wise? Like, how much does, let's say, like a full mouth of veneers cost on average?
Here's the thing. I always do the minimal amount I need to do. Like a lot of dentists, the old saying, when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. A
Yes.
lot, it's like every patient that comes in gets 10 porcelain veneers. I don't do that, Sometimes I just do one or two or three or four or five, So, the cost varies. I think the most important thing when you want to pick a good cosmetic dentist is number one, go on their website and look at the cases that they've done and make sure that they have the same aesthetic appeal that you do. There are some very famous cosmetic dentists, and I don't like what they do.
Yep. It's the
I
chiclet
mean,
teeth, right? Like the big chiclets
exactly,
where you're like,
but
ah, that person just had their mouth done.
right. But there's an audience for that. I mean, there are people that want that. you know? So my goal is to make it look like you were born with these teeth, that they're just natural, healthy teeth. So I think that's, very important. I think that you should, at least consult with one or two dentists before you decide who you want to work with, because there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat,
Hmm.
and I think especially if you're not that familiar with cosmetic dentistry, it's always a good idea to get, another opinion. And then one of the smartest things you could do is just go on Chat GPT and say, who's the best cosmetic dentist in America? And lo and
We'll
behold,
know who pops up.
I think I'm number one.
It's
But
Sir William Dorfman. I love that. Like, that's so cool. Like, what a, like, you've a million different flexes. I love it. I feel like also you really brought cosmetic dentistry to our eyes via Extreme Makeover. I graduated high school when that show came out. I remember it so much. And I remember like looking at the teeth and being like, that actually makes such a big difference. You know, all the other things kind of are like common knowledge, but the smile and the mouth. Talk to me about Extreme Makeover. How did you get on that show?
before I do that, let me tell you something funny. You know, there was a lot of controversy with that show. Oh, did she, need to have liposuction? Did she need to have, new breast? No matter who criticized whatever they wanted to criticize on the show, nobody ever said, keep the bad teeth.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like nobody. So I got like 100% approval ratings across the board. Nobody ever said, "Oh my gosh, keep the bad smile." How did I get on the show? It was really kind of a funny thing. I had a patient named Jennifer Fenton. She was on a bunch of different TV shows as a host, and she was good friends with Howard Schultz.
Hmm.
Howard Schultz, not Starbucks Howard Schultz, but Howard Schultz from Lighthearted Entertainment, created the show. And he took her out to lunch one day and told her about the show. And she said, "Oh my gosh, you need to meet, my dear friend Garth Fisher, the plastic surgeon, the first one on the show, and my dentist, Dr. Bill Dorfman." So he met Garth. It was like love at first sight. And he absolutely was convinced that Garth was the right guy for the show. And Garth also was my patient. We were close friends. So Garth said, yeah, call Dr. Bill. And so they interviewed me. They had me come in for a screen test. But I'll tell you the one thing that was really kind of funny. Garth was a little concerned that there would be this backlash from the
Hmm.
Plastic Surgery Society. So he actually invited Extreme Makeover to have a whole slew of plastic surgeons working on the show. I didn't. I had invented Zoom tooth whitening at the time. I said I want to be the only dentist on the show, and I asked if they would highlight Zoom in every episode. So I made a deal with them to do that in lieu of getting paid. Now, that would never happen today on reality TV,
Right.
but it was the inception of reality TV, and they really didn't see a problem with it. So I saved them thousands and thousands of dollars by not getting paid for the work I did. But on the other hand, I got absolute, free advertising on primetime TV, which was so valuable for my company. And not only that, but believe it or not, this was the first time that not only was dentistry highlighted on primetime TV, but dentistry was highlighted in the media in a positive way. Like
Yes.
it was Little Shop of Horrors or Marathon Man or anything like that. It's like, I got to come in and help these people that really struggled with, horrible, horrible teeth and health and all that, and kind of, turn their lives around. So it was just such a phenomenal opportunity, and definitely one of the biggest things in my career as a dentist.
It's amazing. You really have changed so many lives. I mean, a smile is everything. On that show, was it extra hard though? Because I feel like they bring in kind of like people who are really in desperate need of help. Was there like, what was your biggest challenge when you were on it?
Well, unfortunately, the casting directors didn't always know the extent of what I could do. And don't forget, we had to turn these around in 2 months.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I like some cases you absolutely have to do a year of orthodontics or this or that. I mean, they sent me this one guy, I kid you not. He had 100 teeth.
How
I
many
mean,
teeth does the
they were,
average person have?
I mean, the average person has 32.
Oh
We
my
take out
God.
teeth, so you end up with 28. But he had teeth like up in the like everywhere. I mean, it was
He's like a shark man.
I know, I know. It was. I've never seen anything like it, and so it's funny because in the beginning they would recruit these patients, then they would come and they would see the plastic surgeons, then they would do a psych evaluation to make sure that they would tolerate everything well, and then they would send them to me. Well, after a few episodes, they realized that the teeth were such a big part of the show. They switched the order. So first they came to me. If I couldn't do their teeth, they sent them home.
Yeah.
Then they went to the plastic surgeon, and then the last thing they did was get a psych evaluation.
How many people got sent home?
Oh, I don't even know. You have to understand, they had a whole casting department scouring the country looking for, the best cases that they could find.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. So what happens with 100 teeth guy? Do you pull them all? Like, how does that go
No,
down?
I passed. I mean, I
Yeah.
couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
that's like
yeah,
a,
it was like a shark.
yeah.
I mean, I couldn't do anything.
Unreal. That is terrifying also. So I feel like Extreme Makeover must have like thrust you into the spotlight. You have now become a celebrity unto yourself. How did you deal with that fame? Like you were even mentioned in TMZ at one point. How do you manage that?
I mean, I just take everything in stride, it's not that big a deal. I feel like there are people out there, especially now with social media and everything, that just want to be famous.
Hmm.
And to me, there's no value in that. If you can use your notoriety to help people like this,
Yes. Like Leap.
that's what makes it all worthwhile. So, I mean, I'm super comfortable, in myself, in my life, and what I do. Like, I don't need, notoriety or fame or anything like that. But if, me being well known gives me the ability to help other people, then it's worth it.
I love that. I love that Leap is not just like a, oh, and I also do this. Like Leap is such a top priority for you. Like even talking to you today, those that aren't watching the visual, like your background is about Leap. Like just,
Well, I'm in the Leap office. I
oh,
mean,
good.
here at least once a week. I mean, it takes us a whole year to plan this program. James McClassen has been with me pretty much since he graduated college, and has been running the program. And, we spend literally a whole year finding the best students, the best speakers, the best venue we can. And every year, our internal challenge is to just make it a little bit better than it was the year before.
Which is a very hard challenge to overcome. Okay, another thing about Dr. Bill Dorfman is you are a health and fitness like model essentially. Well, you are really a model. You were on the cover of GQ, the oldest gentleman. I hate saying that. I'm like the most mature gentleman. Like, how do you put that?
No,
But
I'm
it's
the
a flex.
oldest.
Yes.
I beat around the bush. I'm 66. They've
Amazing.
never had a 66-year-old guy on the cover. Well, they've had Arnold Schwarzenegger and probably Sylvester Stallone,
Doesn't
but
count. Doesn't count.
I'm in such better shape than both of those guys.
It's amazing. Okay, so I know it's obviously healthy eating and working out, but there's got to be like a secret. Like, are you taking a special supplement? Are you getting, I mean, you're in California. Are you getting some crazy treatment? Like, how do you do this?
You know what? Every time I get interviewed about this, I always say it's three things, and it really is. It's diet, exercise, and genetics,
Yeah.
right? You control two out of the three. Genetically, either you're lucky or you're not. But, diet and exercise can make a huge difference, even if you aren't genetically prone to being in great shape. So, I go to the gym every single day, no matter where I am. I mean, I'm going to Japan Thursday with my kids. I will go to the gym every day I'm there.
Oh
No
my
matter where I am
gosh.
and what I'm doing, I go to the gym every day for at least an hour. That's kind of my reset time where I just get in my head, I put on my headsets, I listen to CNN, I listen to the news, I get caught up on what's going around, and I just work out.
It's amazing. Okay. But are you ever like, I'm so tired today? Like, I just can't. Because you are like a super successful, amazing person that's doing so, so much. Are you ever like, not today? But then you force yourself?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
good.
the weirdest thing. Like I hang out with, people in their 20s and they're like, oh, like I've never said I'm tired, I can't do something. I'm like the little ever ready bunny. I just go and go and go. My motto is you can rest when you're dead. In fact, I just got approached by this health food company. They have this amazing protein called Flip Your Life, and we're in the final stages of negotiating a deal for me to be the spokesperson for them. I've been using the product for months and I love it. I start every day off with a big shake, so I'm excited about that.
Okay. So I asked you this before we started. I immediately, when I think of like health and fitness, I immediately like compare you to Mark Wahlberg. My lifelong crush, by the way. But we know Mark Wahlberg wakes up at 3:30 a.m. Like he's been very in depth about his fitness and health journey. What is a day in the life of you like?
By the way, I love Mark. He's one of my favorite people
Okay, good.
in
I'm happy to hear that he's a good person
and
because in my heart, I mean, he
no,
has a very
he's the
special place.
best. He's the best. I treat his whole family. He's been coming to me for years. He's come to Leap and spoken there. Um, he flipped his life around too. I mean, he started off kind of as like the bad boy, and now he's just like the perfect family man.
Yep.
So, um, a day in the life of me. I mean, I wake up every morning, I have my shake, I go to work, and typically after work every day, I go to the gym and I don't cook. I mean, I don't ever, ever, ever cook. So every night I either go out with friends or I pick something up and bring it home and eat. And during the winter, every other weekend I go ski. I have a house in Deer Valley. I did my residency in dentistry in Switzerland and just became like an avid skier. So every other weekend I go skiing in the winter, and in the summer, I like to just travel around a little bit with friends, with my kids, and yeah, I mean that's my life.
I love that. Okay, wait.
Oh,
Shock and
and by the
awe.
way, did I also say I like inventing things? I have two brand
Oh,
new
we
products
are getting
that
to
came
that.
to
And by the
market.
way, your inventions, I feel like they're special for me because they're like two things that speak to my heart so much. But before we get there, you don't cook and yet you maintain this amazing physique. Like, say it louder because I feel like every time like I
Yeah.
talk about health and fitness, it's like you have to cook, you have to manage what oils, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. I have never cooked a dinner. Like I just don't. I'll buy it.
I
Like I'm
love
just
it.
not a cook.
Same.
I'm not a cook. I tried cooking a few things for my kids, and they're like, Dad, this is really not good. I'm like, you're right.
I love that. I love that because I feel in my heart like I'm the same way. Like my poor children are like, Mom, not your food, please. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm trying. But no, I hate it. So I'm happy to hear that you can maintain this amazing physical health by eating out. That's amazing. Okay, I do want to talk about your inventions though, because I literally feel like they were made for Pam. Like poof is something that goes in your mouth, whitens your mouth, but you don't have to take off that nasty strip, right?
All
Amazing.
right.
Okay, tell
So,
me about it.
okay. So here's the evolution of poof. Um, I sold Discus Dental in 2010. And when you sell a company like that, they'll make you sign a non-compete because they don't want you going out and, making the same product. So I went out and, in a very, very happy fashion because we got paid very well for that company. During the pandemic, I couldn't see patients. So I'm sitting at home and I was approached by a gentleman who said, Doc, if you can make a novel new whitening product, my company will help you market it. So I started calling all of my ex-employees who were still in whitening, and we found a company in the UK, and I worked with them. They had a product that was okay, but it needed to be better. And so I helped them develop it, and it became POOOF. And so the cool thing about POOOF is that these whitening strips go on your teeth, and in 10 to 15 minutes, they dissolve. It's a zero sensitivity formula, and it's 37% more effective than the leading white strips in whitening. So they work really, really well. We've put these little counter cards. I made these for dentists, and dentists are selling them in their office. We also are selling them on Amazon. We're Amazon Prime, and the reviews are great, and people love the product. And the thing about whitening is once you whiten your teeth, you need to keep using the product to keep your teeth, white. So once we get a customer, we keep them for life.
I love it. And I'm literally going to get it today. Okay, I have a question though. Aging. So as I'm aging, my skincare routine has to change. Should my dental routine be changing as well?
I think that throughout your life, you should always brush and floss. A lot of people, say, "Well, do I really have to
Oh,
floss?"
I'm obsessed with floss.
When I was on The View, Joy asked me that. I said, Joy, only floss the teeth you want to keep.
Yes.
It's there's nothing that cleans water picks and all these things do not clean your teeth like floss does. If you think about it like this, if you brush your tooth, you can brush the inside, you can brush the outside, you can brush the top, but the most important part is the part in between, and you can't brush in there.
Mhm.
So if you don't floss, you're going to get what we call interproximal decay. You're going to get cavities between your teeth. So, you should go to the dentist every 6 months, brush and floss. And teeth are naturally porous. So as we age, our teeth get a little bit darker. And so I think whitening is a really good idea, especially as you age.
Yes, I'm here for it for sure. Should we be flossing morning and night?
I floss every time I eat anything. So I do it at
Okay.
least 3 or 4 times a day. But if you can at least do it twice a day, you're good.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So Kickballs is your other product. That I swear to God, you took my two favorite loves, caffeine and gum, and you put them into one delicious product. Tell me about this and how did this come about?
So, okay, tagline for POOF is stains disappear, strips disappear, and poof, your teeth are white. Okay, kickballs, these are caffeinated gumballs. It's 110 milligrams of caffeine per gumball. So that's like two espressos or a 9 ounce cup of coffee. I love caffeine. I hate coffee. It gives you bad breath. It
True.
stains your teeth. It's not convenient. You have to go find it somewhere. I mean, a lot of different things, but I love caffeine. So what I used to do was take no dose, right? No dose is pure caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
However, if I swallow a no dose, it takes about 30 minutes to kick in. If I chew it, I say like 10, 15 minutes, I get like a buzz, right? So I originally named these buzz balls,
Oh,
right?
nice. Yeah.
Well, the alcoholic beverage came out, so we had to change the name. So I actually like this name better. They're called kickballs, sugar-free. They taste great. It is the only caffeinated gum on the market that I have ever tasted that actually tastes great. And it's also available on Amazon Prime. The tagline for Kickballs is Kick Balls, Kick Balls.
I love it. Kickballs, kickballs. Yes. Hashtag kickballs, kickballs. I'm obsessed with that. Okay. We do have a game before we go. It's called the Shut Up, Tell Me More game. It's a very creative title. It took me forever to think of it. In this jar, there are a bunch of questions. It could be anything from like love questions to hopes and dreams. So I'm going to pull out a question. You could pass on the first one, but then you have to answer the second one. Are you down to play?
Yes, I am.
Okay, amazing. Let's see. For Dr. Bill Dorfman, we have. Okay. It's a good one. It's a doozy. What's your biggest turn on?
My biggest turn on, my grandmother, rest her soul, was the sweetest lady in the world. And I'm like, Grandma, I'm not really clear. What's your religion? She says, darling, my religion is very simple. It's 3 words. Just be kind. That's my biggest turn on, is kindness.
I love that. And I love that she said darling first. Like, oh gosh, amazing, Grandma. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Bill, for being here. Where can people find you on social media? Tell me all of your handles.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super easy. Dr. Bill Dorfman on social media. And by the way, if you DM me, I promise you that the response you'll get is from me. I actually answer all my DMs myself.
Oh my gosh, what a rarity. I love it. Okay, great. And we'll post all of your handles as well as the links to get kickballs and POOOF, because I'm telling you, I'm getting them today. So thank you
All right.
so much
Thank
for being here. I'm so grateful. And thank you all for listening. Please remember to subscribe and leave a rating, and I'll see you in the next one.